repealed? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Well, I hate to disappoint the person who asked that question. I don't think it is going to be repealed. It will, of course, I mean, it has been approved by the board. It has been implemented. It has been going on. And we are now in the process of reviewing the socialized tuition and financial assistance program, because that is where many of the questions are coming from.
And these have been questions that have been there from the time of President Abueva, when this whole thing was started. That
No, well, not really, because at some point the questions have stopped coming. It was only when we again started to think about increasing tuition
that they started being asked again.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, this brings up a question. Earlier you were saying that one advantage of the new charter was the recognition of the UP system as a national university. And yet there was a recent controversy about a month ago when there was this global survey of
the Times Higher Education Supplement.
Yes, and that the University of the Philippines had opted out.
Okay, let me
Can you explain?
Yes, yes. You know, the Times Higher Education Supplement came up with the ranking sometime in 2006. And I think we ranked number 299 at that time. Right after that ranking came out, people from Times Higher Education visited the country and invited us. So I went to see the representatives, and I asked them, where did you get the data that you used for UP? And they said, oh, we got it from one of your staff. And I said, may I know who gave you the data? Because I'd like to check with the person and find out from her what data were submitted to you. And she said, well, these are all in our computer files. We don't have them right now. And I said, could you just, you know, give me the name? Because, you know, if we participate, I'd like to know from where we can start. Mm-hmm. But they never communicated again with me, except to send a set of questionnaires and asking us to answer the questionnaire. And I said, before I answer this, I'd like to know what data have so far been submitted to you. We never got any feedback from them. And so, and besides, you know, at the time in 2007, they barely gave us time to respond.
But how are you going to resolve that? Because this is looked at all over the world.
But anyway, you know, like I told them during the interview, what if we do not want to participate? And they said, oh, that's not possible, because how will our ranking look if Harvard, for example, is not there? And I said, oh, but, you know, but you know, they kept on insisting, but even if you don't participate, we'll manage to get the data. Okay, so in 2007, they sent us the questionnaire, gave us barely 2 weeks. We told them, we're not going to participate, and we hope you respect our position. But they did include us anyway. And so we went down in the ranking. For 2008, they did not even send me any questionnaire. And all of a sudden, I get a letter from them saying, congratulations, I am not at liberty to tell you, but your university went up in the rankings. In view of this, would you like to buy a package? You know, and I looked at the package, it's $48,000. And I said, no, we don't go, you know, we don't go into these things. Our vice president for academic affairs said she got a letter from them thanking her for submitting the data. And she said, I did not even submit anything, neither did I communicate with them. So it's difficult to know where they're coming from.
Okay, do you have a question from the floor?
Right, Rita here has a question.
Yes, I have a question. How do you think UP will be able to adapt in the next 100 years?
Well, that's a very difficult question. You know, after this year, we've been celebrating the whole year. Next year, that's when we really sit down and think of what we're going to do in the next 100 years. We're going to have a grand conference in April, and there we will invite not just the faculty, but the students, the alumni, even the staff, and friends of the university to make a blueprint of where we are going. But already, because in our Centennial Lecture Series, we invited our own scholars and we invited people who are not members of the UP community but who have taken an interest in the university. And they talked about UP, not just its achievements and successes, but also its shortcomings and failures. So we're looking at where we are weak at. And so in the grand conference that we will have in April, we are going to focus on nurturing a sense of country among our students and more on character development, building character among our students. So it's not, I cannot answer that by myself. It will have to be a collective effort. You know, we try to dissect the problem, and so we'll get ideas from insiders, from alumni, from outsiders. It's going to be a difficult task, but we are encouraged by the response from within and from without. And so we are hoping to have a very meaningful and productive conference where we will be able to draw out the plans for the next 100 years. Actually, 20 years.
I was just wondering, a lot of alumni are sports fans as well. Is the administration giving support to the sports program of UP?
Oh, yes, we are. Well, when I was Chancellor of UP Diliman, I put up an endowment fund for the artists and, for the artists and the athletes. And even in this fundraising thing that we just had, still continuing, by the way, a certain portion of the funds raised will be spent for sports development.
Okay, now there's one question I wanted to ask you. There's been another ongoing debate because under President Nemenso's time, they changed basically the GE course requirements, expanding it radically so that practically anything counts. Now, even within the faculty, there's been some criticism of this, that the students are not getting the basic building blocks that they're required. I'd like your opinion on this, and how do you see this all tying together, particularly with this need to build up a sense of citizenship among the students?
I was with Dr. Nemenzo's team, and I fully agree with what he did. We did not expand in terms of offering more subjects, except, one or two, because in the old GE program, we required 42 units. In the revitalized GE program under Dr. Nemenzo's term, we increased this by just 3 units, so 45 units, 15 units for 15 units math and science, 15 units arts and humanities, and then 15 units social sciences. In the old curriculum, the courses were prescribed, so they were required.
Yeah.
In the new curriculum, the students have a choice. They get to choose for as long as they have 15 units of math and science, 15 units of the social sciences. And the courses that were, the existing courses continue to be offered. The courses in the old program continue to be offered. New courses that have been instituted had to be subjected to certain criteria. And I think, contrary to what you said, we've been getting very good, responses from the talked
Well, of course, I've talked to students. Yes. Students love it because they can avoid many things. But I've talked to some students and some faculty where their concern was, for example, you can go through journalism and never have taken English 1, or you can go to the same course and not have taken history. And these are sort of things that there's so much choice given to the student that sometimes they can pick up all sorts of eccentric things and not really focus on the core.
Well, yes, but for some students, for example, may not want to take, let's say, history. Maybe it is because they've taken the course already in high school and probably don't find any need to get another history course. It is indicative of a number of things. Students get to talk to each other, and yeah, some of them take the easy way out. They say, oh, it's difficult to go through that class. But let me tell you, we have not really, the choice is there, but for now, there are not too many to choose.